The Canyon isn't exactly the first name that pops into your head when someone brings up mid-size trucks. That spot usually goes to the Tacoma, maybe the Colorado. But the Canyon has been quietly earning its reputation, and serious buyers know it. Think of it as a Colorado that went to college. Same bones, sharper execution, a bit more cash out of your pocket, but also more truck for it. Better refinement, more premium feel, and a few features that make it stand out in a segment that's more competitive than it's ever been. And now, with the 2027 model on the horizon, there are even more reasons to pay attention. GMC is bringing notable updates to the table. So if you're in the market and trying to figure out whether to buy now or wait, stick with me. We're going through 6 big reasons why the 2027 GMC Canyon is definitely worth the patience. Join us as we explore the world of wheels. Subscribe now and buckle up for the adventure. Number 1. Specs Boost. Let's kick things off under the hood. The 2027 Canyon is getting a meaningful bump in power. The turbocharged 4-cylinder is being tuned up to 350 horsepower and 440 pound-feet of torque. That's a 40 ponies jump over the current top output. It won't boost maximum towing capacity, which will remain at 7,700 pounds. Neither is the gas mileage getting the boost. However, what's still up in the air is how GMC positions this. Does the 310 horsepower version stick around as an entry-level option? Or does the boosted engine become the new standard across the lineup? What we do know is that the V6 isn't coming back. Neither is the Duramax diesel. General Motors has moved on from both, and there's no indication that's changing for 2027, despite the heavy interest. But a Turbo 4 making 350 horsepower, those are numbers that start to blur the line between midsize and half-ton territory. Number 2. Fresh look. There was a time when a truck could go a decade between updates and nobody batted an eye. Those days are long gone. The midsize truck segment moves fast now. It's one of the most active, most competitive corners of the automotive market right now. And if you're not keeping up, you're falling behind. There's no coasting on a good launch anymore. The Canyon got its full ground-up redesign in 2023, and since then, changes have been relatively minor. But now we're at that point where something bigger needs to happen, and it will. The 2027 Canyon is due for a proper mid-cycle refresh, and by all accounts, it's going to be a significant one. Details are still pretty locked down. GMC isn't saying much, and right now most of the attention inside General Motors is pointed at the next generation Sierra and the new V8 engines coming with it. The Canyon update is happening quietly, in the background, which sometimes means the result ends up being more surprising than expected. It'll be worth watching. Number 3. Regular cab. If GMC really wants to make a statement with the upcoming refresh, this would be one way to do it. A regular cab option. No back seat, shorter wheelbase, stripped back to the essentials. A proper work truck for people who actually need a work truck, not a rolling smartphone with a bed. Buyers loving that vibe are still out there. Well, they just don't buy in the numbers they used to, and that's the problem. Across the industry, truck makers have largely walked away from basic configurations because the math doesn't work anymore. Would I like to see a regular cab Canyon? Honestly, yeah. There's something appealing about the idea. But realistically, slim chances. Even if General Motors does revisit the idea, it's far more likely to land on the Colorado first. That truck carries more of the work-focused identity. The Canyon has been steadily climbing toward the premium end, and that positioning probably doesn't leave much room for a bare-bones cab configuration. Number 4. High-end luxury. If you're shopping the premium of the midsize segment, nothing else really comes close to the Denali. Upscale materials, high-end tech, a look that turns heads. It's been one of the Canyon's strongest selling points since the redesign. But GMC is going further in 2027. The Denali Ultimate Package, which has already made its mark on the Sierra, is coming to the Canyon for the first time. The treatment brings an even higher level of finish to everything it touches. We're talking top-shelf materials, exclusive styling details, and the kind of interior that makes you question whether you're in a truck or a luxury SUV. Bringing that to the mid-size segment is a calculated move. There are buyers who want the footprint of a smaller truck but refuse to give up the premium experience. Canyon Denali already covered part of that ground. The Denali Ultimate closes the gap completely. Number 5. Off-road performance. This one doesn't get nearly enough credit. When the off-road conversation comes up, the names you always hear are the TRD Pro, the Raptor, the ZR2. Those trucks have the marketing muscle and the fan base, and they dominate the discussion. Meanwhile, the Canyon AT4X is sitting there, equally capable, barely mentioned. That's a shame, because the AT4X is a legitimate off-road machine. Skid plates, locking differentials, Multimatic DSSV dampers, ground clearance, all there. And if the full AT4X spec feels like more than you need, the AT4 sits just below it. Still a very capable truck, a bit less aggressive, a bit more daily driver friendly. Either way, you're getting a rig that can handle serious terrain without requiring a separate set of aftermarket parts just to make it functional off the pavement. Number 6. New infotainment software. The facelift won't stop at the sheet metal. The usual mid-cycle treatment is happening inside as well. Refreshed dashboard, smarter storage solutions, overall step up in materials. But the real story is the software. General Motors is rolling out a platform called Ultifi, and the 2027 Canyon is expected to be among the vehicles that get it. Ultifi is something like a smartphone operating system, but for your truck. It uses over-the-air technology to wirelessly deliver updates, apps, cloud connectivity, and other services. Settings saved to your authenticated account can even transfer between similarly equipped GM vehicles. Navigation, climate control, safety features, and systems like Super Cruise all work together through a single integrated platform, rather than feeling like a collection of separate pieces bolted together. GM is also opening it up to third-party developers, so the app ecosystem could grow over time, similar to how a phone platform works. Now, there is one catch worth mentioning, or two. General Motors has been phasing out Apple CarPlay and Android Auto in favor of Ultifi, and that decision has not gone over well with everyone. A lot of buyers are used to those integrations and aren't thrilled about giving them up, especially knowing the Ultifi is bringing subscription charges. Nevertheless, the potential is real, and if the new system meets expectations, it could genuinely change what it means to own a truck long term. Thank you for watching. We look forward to seeing you next time.